little bit convoluted for me right now.
The ease of execution definitely on the way of Beast Coast, I feel like.
Yeah,
but
that's how I feel.
We'll see. We'll see how much Jabs can do on this Brood Mother. He's got the little tippity toe cosmetic. Very good. I'm glad he doesn't have the one realistic Brood set that I despise that somehow got in the game that everybody likes.
I won't lie. That was unexpected.
Nothing should look realistic, Cinderin.
Okay.
It's like if Pango, instead of these little pistol thingies has, he just has an AK-47. Like, would you like that?
Would that be realistic?
Yes.
Okay.
We all know Musketeers like their AK-47.
Yes.
Can't even say that with a straight face.
Chill, kid. It's okay. At least we learned something.
So, Omni Knight perspective, how much do you see this hero these days?
It's a pretty rare pick. I saw it one game in the Chinese DPC and it did not work. It was played by, I believe, Aster played in the game, and even though he had a good start in lane, the hero just completely fell off because its ulti wasn't particularly relevant. And that's a danger I see for Omni in this game as well, is that I think he is heavenly graced this game, right? Like,
yes, he is.
What else do you really offer? Your ulti isn't good. Your heal is, I mean, it's always going to be a decent spell, but not great.
The battle begins.
So that for me is the biggest question mark, will be how does Ollie find purpose? Who does he play with? A lot of the time when Omni is picked, it's because it's with like some sort of hero that really utilizes Heavenly Grace on top of the ulti being good. But the only hero I see you gracing here is probably the TA. But she's going to be farming the first 20 minutes. So who's your friend?
Yeah, it makes me like.
It's okay. At least we learned something.
That's the way I was thinking this game, is just a Heavenly Grace. And I mean, there's a couple other heroes. They're not really support these days. Legion and I mean, Abaddon was more of a support until recently, I guess, with the Radiance. But it just feels like it's just a weird pick. Doesn't make any sense, but maybe it'll work out. As we see a little bit of action in the top lane. Ollie trading some right clicks. His Hammer of Purity.
No.
What's
I always love to. Sorry, I just want to say I always love to watch strategies that I don't understand, right? Because that's the opportunity to learn something. You either learn that there was something you didn't think about, and then it gives you new perspective on the game, or you learn that you were right and it didn't make sense.
Or you learn that you're a god, and it inflates your ego even more, which we definitely don't need.
I also don't want to butcher the strategy too much, because I do see some of the strengths of it, right? I'm just I'm waiting for it all to make sense to me a bit later down the road. But it's not going to begin with, because there's not going to be like any major laning surprises here. The lanes are just gonna kind of play themselves. I think both teams will find decent farm in all three lanes. Maybe the guy who will suffer the most might actually be Jabs on the Brood in this bot lane. Bloodseeker fares very well in this with Disruptor.
Lane is pushing for Jabs, so we'll get some last hits here and see if Q gives him a little bit of space to get solo XP, but he will not. And for Skywrath Mage, yeah, he's already has Rod of Athos on the mind, so they definitely want that extra root to go along with the Searing Chains, I suppose, to try to contain some of these heroes from Beast Coast.
Yeah, it's standard to skill chains in this lane. It's Ember's way of protecting himself against the bat. I don't know if Mikoto's going to go 4-4-0 or if he is going to get some value points in Flame Guard, but definitely 1-2-0 is the way to play this lane most of the time against bat. Just cover your bases. You get nice CS with Slight, and as long as you don't miss your chains, you can create pretty meaningful distance in the 1.5 seconds of root you get level 1. So.
Yeah, so mid lane you said that it could go either way, basically. That's the TLDR. Of course,
Mikoto is
it.
owning him right now in the first wave.
He is. 15-6 versus the 8-2. So we'll see if Dark Mago can get back on track or not. And this is not a hero that can really go into the jungle and get like ridiculously easy farm because of the nerfs a while back.
Yeah.
So maybe not.
Well, he might.
I mean, before
he
it was
could
just
glyph this wave, Dark Mago.
Overtime.
Keep an eye on mid here.
Yeah, he's going to do that. He's going to get Searing Chains, but the Flame Break back into the fray. He's going to get a TP for support on Mikoto. So Actually forces Ollie out. He's gonna Heavenly Gracious to get those sticky napalm stacks off. Actually,
wow,
even
Skyron's
Q
coming
has
over
come
too.
down.
Okay.
Go. He's gonna
Party
be
in the
very
mid
happy
lane.
with this. So look for aggression in the opposite lane since both supports have abandoned their original spots. But 23 Savage is under his tier 1 tower, so he's going to be okay. And Jabs
The biggest
is
winner in all of this
in a
laning
1v1.
stage compared to my expectations is probably Sacred. He's playing his off-lane Pango, and he has really good farm right now. Sitting on 18 and 3, he's out CSing the TA, and now that she's been left alone, he should be getting a couple of extra free ones here. So, that's good news. Off-lane Pango has a lot of laning weaknesses, but in this game, with the matchups he has, he's actually relatively safe.
Wouldn't you say every Pango has laning weakness?
It's pretty good mid against a lot of stuff.
Oh, come on.
Pangos have drawn
Come on.
or won lanes quite a lot
That's
in the
because
DPC this time.
that's because the players are good, okay?
Okay.
The hero needs-
You want me to get Pango
Yes.
buff for you? All right.
Yes.
Pango's terrible, guys. The pro teams are picking it highly because they don't understand the game. We need buffs.
Yes, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
I'm looking out for you.
Hey, you cut on a little too late.
Lion
I think
is
you made it
really
too
broken.
obvious.
Definitely needs some
Needs a
nerfs
nerf.
to that. I think he should lose his
Maybe,
stun.
yeah, I was gonna say just delete any of the skills. I think I'd be okay with that.
I think Finger of Death should be Finger of Life. It heals. the
Yeah,
enemies
just
quite
make it Pugna, except it's burst.
Bottom lane, big damage onto K1. Glimpse
Yeah, the
will
glimpse is
save
back.
him.
K1 will live. Jabs
It's double
close to level 5 right now. Okay, he's gonna get chased down here potentially. Jabs can put down a spider web as Q continuing on with that concussive shot. K1. Oh, the blood ray does
Oh
connect
my,
though, so
this is so
Stinger
good
ends
for
up netting
them.
himself a kill onto Jabs, and now Q gonna be brought back into the arms of Dark Mago, who did come here looking for the other kill, but hey, it's a 2 for nothing. Beast Coast is gonna be super happy with that.
First blood going to Stinger, but K1 was in melee range, so he got a good heal out of it. He's going to fully stabilize, and with these early phase boots, I think Brood's pressure on this hero obviously will fall off pretty quickly. When Bloodseeker reaches level 6, you can't chase him. He can just rupture you and stand his ground, and you can TP in any hero to just find this kill on Jabs, who is now half a level behind. Actually, a bit more.
Oh, they're not going to be expecting
This is a good early start for Beast Coast in this game.
Schofield steals that double damage. And
Glimpse. Jabs is in trouble again. He will live here, but
yeah, there's
he's
no rupture
taking some
yet, like we
serious
talked
damage.
about. Forcing a TP actually gets canceled instantly. I'm not sure who that was.
Jab's insatiable hunger ran out now, so he can't
Ollie?
regenerate.
He's getting chased down by the double damage Dark Willow via Schofield there. He's gonna get the bounty rune as well. So he might have actually canceled. Was that the TP that was canceled? I think so.
Might be. Rupture
It's
online.
a double whammy out of that.
Alright, they're gonna go straight for
It's gonna
Sky.
be used on Q. Jabs is like, thank God, thank you for tanking this. You will be remembered. And now I will farm, hopefully. Actually gonna fort the creeps here. Yeah, he's getting at least something out of this.
Okay, they're bringing Ember over.
Makoto's
This will be
coming,
big.
yeah, glimpse. So Jabs is back to where he came from. The Searing Chains is there. Makoto getting a very valuable kill onto K1.
Important rotation, and there was no way to stop that. You can't glimpse the Ember away. He's just going to throw a Remnant and reconnect to the play, so they have to concede their Bloodseeker there. And a bottle refill from Q as well for good measure. So Makoto will head back to mid pretty healthy. Top lane, they're bringing up Dark Mago here. They get the root. 23
Getting
is in
slowed,
big trouble
flame
here.
break, and the death. Trying to do
He's trying
some
to
damage
trade,
before he
but-
inevitably falls.
Okay, he had
No mana
Refraction
for the
again.
lasso. He has lasso. Not needing it. Sacred barely lives. 20
Alright.
HP. Shut up, Slacks.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
All this happening, and now Jabs is finally left to his own devices, which is what
Ah,
Broods
yes,
want
Brood.
in this bot lane.
Dyer's top
Don't
Leave
you
for
all
just
just
a
love
moment.
Brood Mother?
Yes.
I can't believe you
design.
find Lion more annoying to play against than that hero.
That's because in my bracket, nobody plays Brood. What do I care?
Why not?
Because they suck.
It's actually not even that hard of a hero to play.
Yeah, it's not fun either. Nobody wants to play something that's not
Who
fun
plays
and it's
Dota
hard.
for fun?
That's a good
Dyer's
point.
top tower is under attack.
It's the illusion of fun. You think you're gonna have fun playing these other heroes. His jabs, he's gonna get spotted out. Kinetic field, lasso is available as well.
Yeah.
It is gonna be a
Dead
mega
spider.
easy kill. It's gonna bring joy to Synderen's face. Why?
Yeah.
I needed a word
my
after
face
that,
in
but-
particular, yes.
Yeah, specifically
Not
your
my
face.
heart, because that's long gone.
Yeah, that goes without saying. Proto level 7. Dark Mago is the same, and you can see that their farm is not the same though. Makoto is doing a little bit better job. 600 network lead at the moment.
Yeah.
Still has that haste rune activated. Wants to
Despite
might
Dark
find
Mago having 3
Stinger,
kills.
and that is a death and a free trip back to where he came from. Actually continuing on. Dark Mago gonna take a slight, and
Dire's top
And
tower
this is not even a big camp that he's taking, Dark Mago. Forced to
No.
use the Firefly, so this does not feel great. Odo's really stepping it up in this game, number 1. K1 about
How
600
do you
away
step
from
it up
finishing
when you
Maelstrom.
don't know how he started?
He's really stepping it up in this game, number 1. You know? I think that's actually a valid statement.
Can you step it up when you haven't when it's your first game?
Yeah, why not? Because you had a previous game, which
Did you
I
watch his
probably
previous game?
didn't. Probably not.
Did he do
but
poorly in that one, so he's stepping up in
he's-
this one?
He's stepping it up.
All right,
you know?
understood. A
Rolling
little bit
Thunder
of a
in the
rolling
top
action here
lane.
for Sacred, and TP.
Yep.
Here TPing bot. He wants to try to help Jabs, which honestly doesn't need help. Like, he just killed Stinger alone. This matchup is so terrible for Disruptor, man. This Brutus. I mean, it goes both ways. Glimpse is great when you are the ones chasing Brood, but if Brood ever gets on top of you with the spiders, this is one hero you kind of can't really protect yourself against very well. Can't glimpse away the spiders.
Radiant's middle tower is
Well,
under
you
attack.
can. One.
No. you
Does
can
that
glimpse away
work
the
on
hero.
you? It's only on heroes. I knew that. I definitely play a lot of Disruptor. I
Yep.
played this game only for
Mid-tower?
15 years.
Alright, this is where
Tier
Talon's
1 is
strategy
dead.
starts peaking, right? Like, now that Brood is online, their Ember is having a good game like we talked about, which was
Radiant's
necessary.
middle tower has fallen.
They'll be looking to constrict the map more and more, so they take the mid tower with this Brood rotation as well. And Beast Coast, what will they do? It looks like they're going to chill. Batrider has 2
bottom
enormous stacks to
lane.
farm. Yeah, K1's fine. Very, he can always TP out except against Ember Slight Chains, right? There's no other root or stun currently.
Q will have one at some point with the Atos. Rushing it as fast as he can manage.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now that tier 1 tower is gone. Actually, this is a good question.
Dire's top
For
tower
the Broodmother gameplay these days, you take that tier 1 relatively fast. Let's say you get the tier 2, then what do? You just continue on, because the old days you would switch to another lane. Or you just be kind of stuck in the jungle.
You keep owning the
farm.
map. You just play. You build a house where you've taken down the towers, and now it's your towers. So the reason Brood is so powerful is that it creates this area that's extremely hard to penetrate, and
Dire's
Brood is
middle
just
tower
farming all
is
of it.
under attack.
So you have to do something about the Brood. Either you have to gank the Brood, or you have to crush the other side of the map so Brood has to come back. But you always need to be wary about the split push pressure. It just takes over. Like, let's say after Brood takes a couple of towers, it's like you own 30 to 40% of the map instead of 50, right? That's just what it feels like. So the rest of it is just theirs. So, and Brood benefits a lot from farming because he can buy any items the team needs. The hero can just buy auras. It can buy utility like Hex. Plenty of things. All right, Stinger Schofield gets this Shadow Realm off, and that's kind of the end of it. Stinger gets the glimpse.
Glimpse
Alright.
and the static storm, but they don't have a kinetic field to really contain them. And the focus is actually split. Jabs looks like he's going to be just fine, but here comes a big slide of fist. And Sacred is here with the Rolling Thunder available. And that's 2 dead, 1 from each side. Rolling Thunder continue on as K1's already used the Rupture on somebody else. First Crown. Go off temporarily. Schofield in the trees. Looks like he's going to get brought... Oh, slight? Actually, not
Oh, the
enough.
chains missed. He might still dive
Ridiculous
in,
brambles continuing on here, but Jabs is just going through the trees. There's the slide. Now Sacred's in a lot of trouble. Gets off the shield crash. Jabs. Gonna right click now. There's a lot of damage mitigation, but it doesn't last as long as it used to. So Sacred, a couple more right clicks will do it. The side blaze is enough. 23 Savage. Another kill to his name. 2 for nothing in favor of Talon.
And as puzzled as I was by
Tower is under attack.
the way in which Talon picked their heroes, they're definitely making it work, right? It feels like the instrumental hero that's making all of this possible is just Brood. And there's a reason this hero is banned almost every game. It's just so extremely difficult for Beast Coast to deal with this right now. They're still staying okay on gold, like K1 is having a good time on Bloodseeker, he's getting very farmed. But again, the absolutely crucial thing that had to happen for Talon was that Ember's lane went well, and it did, so they've been able to connect with their Brood and make that hero useful. So much strength there from that Heavenly Grace. Not a possible kill.
Dodo is creating a lot of space as well. So he is backed up here by a couple supports. Basically a recipe away from the Atos now on Q. They're going to see Sacred. The shield crash to safety. He's going to be fine for the time being. Ambles. Use the zone a bit. Static Storm Kinetic Field onto Q. Takes a swashbuckle to the face. Now attempting to walk away, but he's going to get glimpsed back, and Rolling Thunder's gets up the Mystic Flare, but oh, Guardian Angel comes up, but that's not going to really mitigate any of the magical damage coming out. And he's going to get surrounded by the Bat Rider and taken out swiftly, so 2 supports dead for Talon. We talked about how Guardian Angel, we can't see. I'm actually surprised he leveled it, if I'm being perfectly honest. It does almost nothing this game.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I actually think he would have been better off getting more points in his other spells for now. The only thing this counters is Bloodseeker, and he's not even really involved. I guess Swashbuckle, it's a secondary concern. You block that, but it's an offlane Pango. He's not going to be doing that much damage. He's buying utility items. He's going Greaves. Yeah, I kind of agree. I think Omni should bypass his ulti for longer in this game and just max out Heavenly Grace, get that lower cooldown on it. Yeah, looking for smoke onto Sacred here. Slight chains plus static or Scarith ult.
He's silenced. And
Connect, though.
He's inside that Blood Rite, so he's just A-okay. Backed up by the Bloodseeker. They don't really have
with that mech.
The lockdown, like you talked about, is just kind of pitiful at the moment for Talon, and that's Q is kind of
don't hit. You got no.
Yeah, the Mystic Flare is like their big burst, and kind of just needs that Atos. And right now, in terms of net worth,
eyes on the Brood here
even.
with that ward they have. This could be a really big pick for Beast Coast if they find it. Jabs is not going to get spotted now. Now he might.
No. Oh. Looking to terrorize potentially there, but
something about a spider turning into a pig. That's actually the Simpsons movie right there.
You watched the movie?
Pig pull. Oh. You watched the Simpsons movie?
A long time ago. I don't remember. I mean, I guess I remember that meme. That's
you remember Spider Pig. Everybody remembers Spider.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Doing all the things a Spider Pig could.
Close enough.
Something like that. Spider Pig, Spider Pig.
Does whatever Spider Pig does.
Yeah, there you go. See? We finish each other's sentences.
Oh, I thought every time I say that, you say something else in sentences.
Yeah.
You didn't even give me the chance. You just said we finish each other's sentences, so I can't.
That's because I knew your joke was going to be... Okay.
That's
we finish
good.
each other's...
sentences.
Let's see.
Yeah, now I might as well anti-joke it, because you ruined it already. So.
I'll remember for next time. There's the Atos!
Hey!
Finally arriving for Q. And we'll see if the smoke will come with that pickup. Usually it's like a big reveal of a core item, but I think this Atos is pretty damn huge, as we're going to see it used there. Mystic Flare, the particles didn't even show up on my screen. I don't know about you, Cinderin.
I was watching bottom, so it didn't show up for me
He's so
either.
dead. He's so dead that we don't need the Mystic Flare particles. I don't know if that's just my computer, but... Into the Roach Pit, now that the Desto's online for 23 Savage. I mean, Beast Coast do have good tools for the Roche Pit if they know what's happening.
Don't
Makoto
have
doing a nice
resources
job
right now.
enforcing
Bat
them
is
out.
totally dry top. Pango's
Yeah,
half
that's true.
mana. But they're gonna give up on this attempt for now, it looks like. No? Okay, they're gonna go again. This is taking them quite some time. But Bat is still not moving. He's gonna finally use a clarity now. He's just farming.
Yeah,
They
he
will
doesn't look
control
like he
the
wants
pit.
to participate. I mean, the Bramble, the Terrorize, Kinetic Field, Terrorize, I mean.
This is
Rolling
actually
Thunder.
a really good sequence for Beast Coast. They're just being more efficient. Like, Talon are sending 5 heroes to this pit, and they're just farming on Bat and on Bloodseeker and not worried. So, honestly, good call. I thought they were going to lose the Roche there, but they can hold it with just their supports and the threat. Maybe
They
now,
still might lose it here.
go number 2.
23 Savage actually getting the shard already. Get these silences up on all these traps that are in the area here for the
Dire's
Roche
middle
Pit.
tower is under attack.
And he goes for the
I don't think
Terrorize.
Terrorize. He's faking it out.
They're just
They
not
have a
interested. Their
vision.
cores aren't there.
Yeah. This is a really slow Roche in the end, so 23 Savage will get bashed, actually. Luckily for him, there was no Terrorize to follow. Mystic Flare on top of the Shadow Realm Dark Willow. Gonna try to limp away.
It'll be okay for now.
Can actually live. Oh, cut.
Dire's
Okay.
bottom tower is under attack.
Yep, he's fine. Very good.
Japs could actually be in trouble here to Glimpse.
Yeah, glimpse back into the kinetic field. Lasso's available if they really want to use it. They're going to
Oh,
use
they're
it
gonna
on
lasso
the
the
Omni
Omni, nicely
instead.
done.
A 2-for-1 special. Beast Coast. They give up the Roche, but like you said, they got a lot of farm out of it. 23 Savage able to get the Invis rune.
Oh, and if he just loses Aegis for nothing, then... Well, they don't
They're
detect
not going to see him.
Glimpse.
Well, they can try to go on top of Makoto. Instead, he actually gets off the BKB,
Yeah.
but still, Beast Coasts are still probably happy with this.
This is really, really good for them. Yeah, there's an Aegis. They have to be a little bit careful about the timing that Talon could present with a BKB, but actually the BKB would come out after the Aegis expires, so I don't even think that is that dangerous to have given this one Roche up. Keep in mind, K1 is just being mega efficient around the map. He's getting so farmed compared to the other heroes. Bloodseeker, 230 CS to the 200 of TA. He's got more last hits than a TA on Dire, who is even having a fine laning stage. So definitely more efficiency this way, coming the way of Beast Coast.
Dire's
And
middle tower is under attack.
we've seen K1 with a lot of like real pop-off Bloodseeker performances, and he has all the makings of one in this game so far. His team does a lot of random spread damage through the Dark Willow damage, the Pango Swashbuckle, Bat Rider. And as soon as heroes start dropping low, I just see nothing stopping Bloodseeker in this game, right? Like, what does the enemy have? Slight Chains? Like, they have no control for him. No BKB piercing stun. I think this hero is going to become really dangerous for the Dire soon.
The Makoto.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Basically a
attack.
javelin away from the Maelstrom as East Coast back into their jungle, trying to regain control here. 23 Savage is going to be spotted. Of course, the Aegis online for another 3 minutes. Trying to apply some pressure to Dark Mago, but he's going to pop his BKB, has to try to run away. But 23 Savage kind of stuck in place. He actually gets pushed onto the high ground, but luckily for him, a bunch of teammates are there, and the Aegis is finally consumed as Sacred. Rolling Thunder now finally ends. Lasso to try to get out from the TP. But Dark Mago, he does get out. Just
Clutch.
barely, but they do lose 2 members.
That was really... I mean, that was pretty brave from Beast Coast to invade Brood's home without 5 heroes. Usually you have to bring the whole party to go and say hello to the Spidey. But they go with 4. Honestly, that outcome for Beast Coast, not too terrible, right? They get rid of the Aegis, and they lose 2 supports. They had to use Bat, BKB, and Lasso too, though, so... I guess Talon could try to take advantage of this. But again, the plays have to come from Makoto. They have to connect with him if they want to find anyone.
Speaking of Makoto, has the haste rune now. He's going to spot Dark Mago. He knows that the BKB is not there anymore, so he did save his life earlier via the Lasso TP, but you spotted him too early, or spotted him too late.
That's a big
here.
kill. That was a dominating streak that Ember grabs, so he gets like 650 gold from that, and that's a full Maelstrom. If that's his item of choice. Not buying it yet. He's switching it up. Eyeing up the Kaya right now. Might be choosing to opt for more of a magical route when he has TA as his carry and a Brood offlane who can also deal some physical damage. Maybe he is thinking
Red
more
in the
about
bot lane.
Glenn
Oh, jumps right over Jabs, who's now a spider pig. There's the second stun via the Blink Dagger. Keeping him in place. Bloodright's coming. Just need the Rupture. Vision. There's the Rupture and the Glimpse. Good combo. Okay, Heavenly Grace.
No way.
What? Okay, he actually
Guardian Angel,
TP's out
baby. It was actually
somehow.
useful there.
All right, now we know why they picked it for this one instance to stay alive on the sliver of HP to a singular right click. Guardian Angel OP. Okay, Q actually cancels the TP of Sacred now. Also gets the Ancient Seal silence. So this is going to lead to yet another kill for Talon. Amazing recovery, and they somehow don't lose the Brood.
That's just such a clutch GA right there. They have to get that Guardian Angel off as he's getting glimpsed, and they get it. Save their Brood, he TP's out. They were out of lockdown on the side of Beast Coast. They already used the Glimpse and the Rupture as well on the Brood, so there's a lot of cooldowns not available for the follow-up chase. Talon will grab themselves a nice little win there. The Aegis has now expired. I don't know if they're too hungry for this bot tier 2 tower for that reason. Still, could just play the map a little bit and take their win there and keep farming.
And Jabs has had the Greaves and Pipe for a little bit now. But I already talked about the Kaya. He's going to be going for Shard next, actually. They do spot Schofield. They actually get the silence thanks to a trap.
Dire's structures are fortified.
And that ends up being a free pickoff. I mean, the traps, when you have any kind of heroes that can... They're just mobile, like the Ember or technically Brood.
They CK1.
Pretty insane.
Should be able to force his BKB potentially. Lasso?
Yep, there's the Rupture. Makoto pops the BKB. Standing his ground for now. Gets out the slight only on a singular target. Needs some backup here. He finds it, and K1 is going to live just barely there. As Makoto now getting rolled on. He's still fine, though. Flame Guard's still active. Try to turn this around now. Sleight of fist, and obviously the Rupture is now gone. Dark Mago. Somehow, nobody of significance has died.
That's just rude, man.
Team. Yeah, I figured that it was too late to stop myself. As Sacred, he will be a significant death.
Oh.
He's dead.
Okay.
So it's a
So
one
you
for
like
one
Sacred more
off-lane support.
than Q is what you're saying.
It's a support Skyrim.
Insignificant. Guys, if you're watching and you're a support player, Sunsfan just wants you to know that you don't.
Oh, nice layering of stuns and silences here onto Makoto. Do they have enough damage though? Heavenly Grace ends up dispelling a bit as Makoto wants to continue on here, and they're just ravaging everybody. 4 dead now, including the Pango from earlier.
Top tower is under
The
attack.
Talon. I mean, I thought Makoto actually was in trouble there, but
His
They
choice
turn
to go
around
Kaya
again.
Sanj instead of Maelstrom probably saved his life there. He's just been, he's a lot more sustainable than you might expect out of the side of Beast Coast, and yeah, Talon are definitely starting to ramp up the pressure now. This might lead to finally this bottom tier 2 tower. This is a pretty late tier 2 to get for a Brood lineup, 27 minutes, but they've managed to weather the storm and play the map quite well and play the flanking game, where Brood is always coming in from the side, and seems like Beast Coast are struggling to take the fights on their terms. Thought it was gonna look better for them at this point in the game with the game state we had so far, but a little bit of an outplay from Talon there leads to a big victory, and now they're going to start controlling the Radiant Triangle and start preparing for the next Roche, and that one is going to be enormous for them. That's their possible high ground ticket.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's courier has been killed.
and we'll know in 10 seconds how long that's going to take to spawn. So they get the tier 1 top, trying to get as much control in this Roche area before inevitably taking in. And obviously they have the TA traps to always spot when it's going to be spawning. Which is a huge advantage to have. Schofield, he does get the
flank
deny of the
play.
ward, but it's going to cost him his life.
God, I hate that.
Pretty
The
brutal,
vision
man.
is
The
definitely a huge problem for Beast Coast. The traps, the spiders, and the fact that the trap
Yeah.
silence against the heroes that they have, the trap silence is so good this game.
It is.
Middle tower
Hanger.
Disruptor.
Well, he uses Static Storm to try to get away, but Kodo just pops the BKB. I mean, I guess that's definitely worth it for Beast Coast. You get a BKB charge out of that, but
Dire's bottom
it's another
tower
death
is
to their
under
name.
attack.
5k lead now for Talon. They're looking good in this game, number 1.
The map is falling apart now. This last moment where Beast Coast lost that team fight is so big. It allows Talon to sweep through the entire map, place aggressive vision, and place aggressive traps, which is even more vision, and get the Broodmother, the Spiderlings out on the map aggressively. So if you Beast Coast now, I think you have to 5-man smoke and look to take a fight to get back some ground. Like you can't keep running alone with Stinger or Schofield and just get picked off by the Skywrath over and over. Like their supports are just dying way too much right now. Finally,
last initiation. Yeah, and it looks like he's dead. It might cost him their Dark Willow. Indeed, it does. So 1 for 1. K1. He's enraged by this. He's going to continue on to try to take out KQ. Jabsky gets glimpsed back, but this is going to cost a couple lives on the side of Beast Coast, it looks like. Jabs cleans up one. Another silence. Beautifully done from Savage. Sacred just barely gets out. He is on top of it with these traps, man. I can't remember the last time I've seen such good usage. This TA.
Yeah, probably shared control.
That's true.
That was not to be toxic. I'm just saying, like, if you're farming and there's traps going off all over the map at the same time, there's probably some teamwork involved and not just TA doing everything. Wow, that takes me back to the old days when pro players would share their visage birds or their creeps with Helm of the Dominator or whatever to the micro player of the team.
Pro players really sucked ass back then. That's basically what you're saying is, Schofield. He is donezo. It was a pretty late Roche, so another 30 seconds they'll have to wait before taking out, but the lead has grown a bit since then. McCree already has 14 charges on his Deso. And Makoto, no surprise, typically feels like it's the third main item. The Aghanim Scepter will be next. That is when the Ultra Mobility is online for that hero.
And so much Spell Burst too. He can easily solo both supports if he has Detection. The Willow cannot protect herself. She doesn't have a Glimmer Cape. She has Ghost Scepter, which doesn't matter against what Ember is providing. When he has this Ags up, you can just Remnant Bomb her to death. And again, that's what Talon has really been playing on this fight that I might have underestimated, is how they play angles, right? Like, that's really what makes their lineup so good, is they're never really accessible very easily for the Radiant to fight.
Makoto pops the BKB. They find the support right off the bat. Another silence stopping the Pango roll, but they're not going to continue on. Rolling Thunder is actually used. All right, gets a nice stun onto one. Dark Mago jumps in, gets off the BKB. There's the lasso, looking for the Omni Knight. They'll take him out pretty swiftly. See what it'll cost them. At least the Dark Willow. Now Makoto chasing to the ends of the earth to try to get this bat right. Oh, the long range Atos by Q. A 3-pointer, Cinderin. They're going to find the Bloodseeker as well. So Talon just cleaning up. So many resources being used to take out this Omni, as even Sacred sticking around the mid lane trying to push it a little bit further, but it'll cost him his life as well. So this is a full team wipe, as they're kind of playing with their food here, as they'll see that Roche is now up for the running, or for the taking. 23 Savage already halfway done.
Yeah, again, I can only repeat myself so many times, but what's making Talon's fights work so well is that they're playing angles, right? They have to lasso the Omni as long as he's in range of the cores, and even though they lasso him and kill him off, the trade is there instantly. The supports of the Radiant are just food all game. They've died 18 times. Schofield and Stinger are becoming non-factors because of this Brood and Ember and TA just... And the Skywrath too. Like, all of them are just killing supports first every single fight, and the cores are left fending for themselves, and you just need to kite out the BKB of the Bloodseeker and the Bat, and then you can start handling them with your overwhelming damage and slight chains. So, yeah, it's been a really beautiful game from Talon, honestly. And especially Makoto just popping off, like you said, really stepping it up this game from the previous game that he hasn't played. Looking good.
Well, he probably played like a pub or something, so he stepped it up because this is an official match. Technically, right is your favorite kind of right, if I remember correctly.
That is true.
Outpost control back on Talon's way. And Roche number 2.
They might go high ground here.
Yeah, why not? They have 4 minutes on the Aegis. They gave the shard to Broodmother, by the way, with an insatiable hunger buff.
Did everyone else who could use it have it? The Omni one is not great. TA has hers.
Skywrath is weird.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess it's fine.
Not the best shards in this game, other than the 2 that had them prior. We see the Hex from Jabs, and yeah, the Mystic Flare actually doesn't show up for me. Does it for you?
Yeah, I saw
My
it.
computer's broken. Interesting. I have
Good thing
everything
it's,
on high.
Good old cheap one you got there. Not a new mega expensive machine you just bought. Well worth it.
Yeah. Well, do you play on low settings? Is that why you see it? I think the graphics.
That
my
makes a
graphics
lot of
card
sense.
is
If
too
you have
good.
lower settings, I'm sure the spells are more animated.
I think it.
I
it
don't
doesn't,
play on low settings though, Shannon. I think we have basically the same settings, more or less. Can't even
Alright,
blame
no
that.
big deal.
Sacred.
And they're just continuing to find kill after kill
Say
as Talon
dead.
is starting to run away with this. And Makoto.
And dead
that
Willow.
Aghanim Scepter. Yeah. Oh, he gets
Okay,
lassoed
we got a
and
combo.
ruptured back into the fountain area. Gets off the Remnant though. There's the Guardian Angel to keep him a little bit healthy. Gets off the Sleight of Fist as well. He's inside the Static Storm. And it looks like he might be fine as the Rupture's now gone. Sidesteps the Bramble as well as Beast Coast
Oh
just
my
dying
God.
horribly. Ultra kill for 23 Savage. That's going to be a second set of racks, probably
This game's
more.
just over, man. Holy.
GG is called.
That was a nice finishing touch there from 23. He gets a double kill with the Psyblade, so he meld strikes one target and it spills onto the other Ghost Scepter secondary target, but it does, Psyblades do hit through that. So he gets a nice little cleanup there to finish the game off. What a great game from Talon. They're not getting brewed again. Perspective was probably the most obvious choice.